Good morning, everyone. It's Saturday, and I believe it's a little after 6:20, maybe, somewhere around there. I've been up for about an hour already. I get up automatically on the weekends. I'm an early riser. I went back out in a little patio area, and I kind of kicked back for a little bit and listened to the birds chirping. It was actually kind of nice. Today is a day I'm just going to kind of not rush around. I mean, like I said, I got a lot of my work done for the weekend, so I have some extra time. So I decided I will go to the flea market today and check that out, and then I will head home and make some dinner. So I was thinking about my video that I made last night about, not trusting people, and, and the videos I made a few days ago talking about, my perps, my main perps and whatever. And, I want to be able to put it all behind me. I mean, there was a time where my targeting was really intense. I mean, like, I had, people calling me and baiting me, calling me in for job interviews with, to basically harass me. And, the thing is that, I can't even, sometimes I just think back to myself, it's like, how in the world why would somebody want to do that? And there's obviously a lot of hate in the hearts of many people. And because of that, it makes you very uncomfortable having to go out and look for work, and these people really should be ashamed of themselves. They really should. And I certainly don't ever want to have to encounter them again, only because of the very nature of who they are, to do something like that. Now I'm very glad to say that I'm not responsible for any of this. And the thing is, when you understand their real motivations, you can't help but get sick. You just can't help it. It's such a weird, twisted, bizarre thing that a person would do, to participate in somebody and hurt somebody, just for the heck of it. But obviously you can see that this is what people do, okay? I remember referring to a lady who, I think she works for a car dealership, and she had mentioned that, she was steeped in the word and all this stuff. And, I don't like to bring up the religious thing more than I have to, but, it's just, people really need to look at themselves and start realizing that deep down inside, they care nothing about any of that. That really what it is that they use it as an excuse. They use it as a crutch. That spiritual truths have very little meaning in their lives. And what they really enjoy are the benefits of associating in a group. And that's my point. So I don't want to be around people who are insincere or people who have no moral structure. I just don't. That's like, not to say that I'm oh so good or I never get angry or whatever, but I don't abuse other people. I just don't, and I certainly don't do anything that's going to affect the lives of other people. I just, it's just common sense. So that kind of behavior is just not, it's not excusable, and so, I've cut my family off. I cut Piggy off. I mean, it's no brainer that some people don't have the courage to do something like that. They don't have the courage to walk away from abuse or abusive people because they're so afraid of being alone. The thing is that if you feel as though those sort of people are, you're afraid to let those kind of people out of your life, you already have problems, because these people are not your friends. They're not people who really care about you. Now, what disturbs me more than anything, I would say, is my blood relations. My blood relations doing something like this. I'm far more afraid of who these people are than I am afraid of Piggy's betrayal. Not to say that, you know, they're both bad, but you would expect your blood relations to, you know, be there to support you through thick and thin. And it boggles my mind. But like, once again, I have a very strong will, and I don't want to be around people who are going to affect my life, damage me in any way. Um, and it doesn't make sense to do that. Some people, they're so afraid of being alone. I can't understand that, because yet they continue to allow themselves to be miserable by associating with people who care nothing about them. Why? You know, I would never be that lonely. I mean, I will tell you right now, I have nobody that I can consider a true friend in my life, okay? And for the majority of people, I doubt that they do either, because that's just how most people are. They really don't have true sincerity. They're not really quality people. When you really get down to them, they're very selfish, very self-absorbed, and they're willing to, roll over on you if they have the opportunity to. So, oh God, I'm so tired. But, I would rather be in a state of where I felt like I had no friends than be around people who I constantly have to worry about. I think, my standards are, and they will always be high, and I'm not ashamed of that. I think that's the right way to be. You have to be very cautious about people. And it's always really been that way. People have that nature. They are who they are, and they are what they are. And I keep talking about nowadays, people have always been ruthless. I mean, history is filled with examples of it, okay? But now that we have things like, technology and, internet and use of cell phones and stuff, people have really surveillance equipment, so on and so forth. People have really cranked the evil up. They have cranked it up a couple of notches. And, and right now, there's a lot of information coming out about gang stalking. People are becoming aware of this. And I'm glad. I'm very glad. I'm glad that, it's getting more news coverage. I'm glad that it's starting to appear in more articles. Because, like I said, many people who participated in this, they were just kind of going along with it, and they don't think about it. But the thing is, to have somebody, if you want to be somebody who's strong in character, you respect that you have no right to interfere with the lives of other people. You have no right to squash out their rights. You have no right to, accuse a person and punish a person for something. All of it, to me, when I think about it, it's just so obvious, and it's so disturbing. I was thinking about how people got upset because I lied to my husband about my race. And for people who got angry over that, we know what this is about. It's about race and the fact that they felt threatened by a small statement or a comment that I made back in 2001. And this is something that people held against me all these years, I'm assuming. And when you really get down to it, you know the reason why. It is based on racism, because what difference does that make? I think that is a very insignificant thing. And the fact that my family blew it up to what they did, I made a video about Good King Wenceslas a few months ago. And I think that it's right up there with the Good King Wenceslas thing. It's right up there with... I really see no big issue in that at all. I really don't. I mean, yeah, it's a little weird, that, I ended up marrying somebody that I lied to. it is kind of weird, I would have to say, but it doesn't affect them. Okay, so what they're really upset about is they're upset about um, uh, a white privilege is really what they're upset about, and that's a white supremacy, and there is no other excuse for that to get upset. Now, for my family did it because they're petty, just right up there with the good king Wenceslas thing, because nobody really took an interest in any of my activities, and they obviously just have issues with me. They always have, okay? But for other people who got involved, I really don't even think that that topic is even noteworthy. I don't even think that it's something that, to me, I just think, how ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous that somebody would actually think that they acted like it was treason, like I committed treason or I was guilty of something serious, okay? And the very fact that they would get and behave that way shows you their racism. Period. Period. How, I mean, because why else do you care? You know? And so it is another eye-opening issue that speaks of truth. That in this situation, people are in denial about a lot of things that they feel, but this cannot be denied. You know, so we're talking about the issue of white supremacy and a bunch of other issues that prove themselves to be true through this very issue. Now, I'm not saying every white person is an evil person or anything like that, but the ones who got all upset and haughty over something like that, yeah, I kind of think so. You know what I mean? I kind of think so. But I will never think that it was, number one, it doesn't concern them. And number two, I don't think it's a big deal. I really don't. I don't think it's a big deal at all. Sorry, I just don't. I mean, I don't think it's something that I should feel bad about. It's too long ago. And aside from that, it doesn't affect them. You know what I mean? It only affects a person if, of course, they're a racist. So, all this issue getting started in the behavior that people, you know, it's like, it's grasping for straws. It's like somebody wants to enact racial hatred and they're looking for an excuse to do so. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And I don't like to bring up race at all, but you know, that one to me is all telling. So anyway, you know, you just start to think about stuff and it's like, it's not even, I'm sorry, I just think it is stupid. It's very stupid. Like right up there with the good King Wenceslas thing, period. You know? Huh. It's just one of those days, you know what I mean, that I'm trying to, like, you know, put things in perspective. And I've been doing that a lot lately, you know? I've been doing that a lot, you know, and thinking about how how I despise the common attitude of society. I do. I absolutely get disgusted by their petty behavior. I get disgusted by the fact that something so, in my opinion, something so irrelevant could get people so angry. You know what I mean? And then they can't justify the reason, so they use that as an excuse. It how could I possibly want to be a part of that lifestyle? Meaning, like, I could never see myself participating in a form of gang stalking in any way, shape, or form. And when I think about black people who got involved in this, they must have thought, well, you know, I'm a race traitor. And they must think something along those lines because they think, well, just because I speak proper English or I listen to different kinds of music or I have an eclectic taste, that somehow or another that I'm trying to be white. And that really annoys me. It does. It bothers me because, you know, I'm a black woman, you know what I mean? And just because a person behaves or has certain interests doesn't make them any less black. It really doesn't. It truly doesn't. You know, I am a black person, you know, and when I think about But it's something because I'm not around other black people, I don't really talk about being black. You know what I mean? But, I'm obviously a black person. And I have varied taste. You know what I mean? And for the white people who found or find my proper English and my eclectic taste offensive, well, you have to look at it this way. And it can't be denied. The fact is that you would be pissed off either way. So you're just a racist, period. If I was to speak in what you call Ebonics, then you would despise me because you would think, ugh, that low-life person. They just need to get together. They don't have etiquette, which, I don't speak Ebonics, but still. I'm tired of the way they talk, and they don't like this, and they this, and this, and this. And because I speak proper English, they find it detestable because, they feel as though I'm trying to be white. The fact is, no, I speak proper English, okay? Anybody could like a certain movie or anything. I don't have to, like things that are just black. I like things just because they appeal to me. And so, either way, when you deal with that sort of mentality, you can tell you're dealing with racism, period. Okay? Because a lot of white people, I'm not saying all white people, but a lot of white people just hate you, period. Period. Okay? So that's just an excuse. It is an excuse. And period. It doesn't make any sense because they would hate you if you spoke properly, if you speak properly, and they hate you if you speak, in a vocabulary that is, what do you call it, more of like a dialect or whatever. So, I don't even pay attention to those people. It's not worth my time. It's absolutely not worth my time. I've seen a lot of other people who are like of different races, and when they come here to the United States, their main goal is to utilize the English language to the best of their ability. And that's what you're supposed to do, okay? I'm not, I don't know. When you're raised in the United States, you're going to be exposed to white culture, meaning everything black people have in this country, we've learned from, for example, white people. You know what I mean? Everything, and so that's to be expected, okay? Do I admire white culture? I'm going to say probably not. Probably no, I don't think so. I mean, there's certain white people that I hold in high esteem or I have special regard for. But as far as like white, I don't know, like everyday white people, no, absolutely not. No, not at all. So, I mean, people are who they are, you know what I mean? And so when I hear people even going in that direction, it's just something that has to go in one ear and out the other. You know what I mean? I certainly don't reject my own people. I don't reject my own people at all. It's just, people hear something and they get upset and they take it one way, you know what I mean? But I am an individualist, meaning that I stand on my own. I believe that my things that I do in my life are for my benefit. They're for me. I don't do it with a certain agenda behind it. They're for me, and some white people get offended or they get stressed out or they worry about, black people are doing it for the improvement and betterment of the race. I some people might do that, but that's, I'm just trying to pay the bills, make a living, make a living, you know what I mean? So it's like everything seems to be so like political. They always look at everything with suspicion. It's like, good grief, I'm just trying to live, you know what I mean? It's really that simple. But and this is not to offend, white people in the community or anything like that. I'm talking about what I had to deal with, okay? I'm not saying everybody's like that, but if that's something that you felt like you were just so pissed off at and you felt it was necessary for me to endure some sort of punishment, you need to look at yourself and ask yourself why. Okay? Because there's a lot of white people out there who are in denial of what they truly feel. Okay? And in situations like that, this comes to light and it can't be denied. You know what I mean? Okay, that's on you, not me. But in these sort of situations, it can't be. So something that happened back in 2001, what is it, 2017, and you act like that's some sort of crime. Like I said, I came here to this town, and I met a lot of white people whose children who were involved in crime. Like, for example, Piggy. Piggy's been in jail a few times. I'm not pointing the finger at him, but, one of the reasons why white people find black people, they assume that black people are just criminals, and they think that black people do this, 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 this. I've encountered people who've gone to jail, knocked somebody up, didn't pay child support. I mean, I've met some people, white people, who openly talk about the horrible things that they've done, and they see no connection to it. And yet they want to, they want to sit here and point out the finger and blame black people for certain things. Now, I'm not trying to make this a race issue. This is just one of my topics that's in the back of my mind. You know what I mean? It's like, because it's there, So it's one of those situations where you either look at yourself and question yourself about this issue. Because, like I said, if I'm walking down the street and I'm going to have to deal with hostility over an issue over that, you got to ask yourself why. And the issue goes right back to them. Because I'm going to tell you what, I don't sweat that issue. I don't. I just think that is the stupidest thing ever. You know what I mean? There's some people in here in this town who are involved in all kinds of horrible things, like gang stalking, okay? Which is the biggest crime right now against humanity. And they're going to sit here and get angry about me lying about my race. I just think that is the stupidest thing in the world. Unless, of course, you're dealing with racism. Okay? So, I'm not a confrontational person. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who brings up race. After I left the Murray's place, I knew to keep quiet about that. Because it's socially responsible. I'm not going to sit here and talk about stuff like that. For the simple fact that, that sort of thing, the topic, the very nature of that topic, shouldn't be discussed out in an open forum, right? But I was encountering all kinds of negativity, hostility, and being told that I was playing the race card multiple times, okay? So this is this behavior is something that a lot of white people tend to fall into, and they like to throw out these kind of accusations just because they want to stir the racial pot themselves. Because I'll tell you what, like, I can't be blamed for any of that. None of it. You know what I mean? So this is not a war against white people. I'm not like that, okay? Because I've associated with white people before in the past. And, I've associated with a lot of bad ones. But, I have met some good ones as well. So I'm not saying everybody's like that. But, on this issue, that one lays on you, because I mean that I don't even think that's something I'm not even going to consider worrying about that. I think that is so stupid, and that just goes to show you that racism is as strong as it has ever been, and we can be in denial about it if we want to, but it's there. So anyway, those are just some thoughts. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to focus on my trash can, but now that I am focusing on my trash can. I have a jewelry box that is just crammed, and it doesn't shut anymore. It's just like, I got so many necklaces that I'm probably never going to wear. I mean, but they're in there, okay, because I really do like them because they're cool. So I keep it, I'm not really crazy about, I mean, jewelry, I wear it because it's an accessory, but I'm not obsessed with jewelry, okay? So I just kind of put my jewelry box on the bottom of the dresser right here, and then my trash can that's kind of overflowing, and then my little Kleenex box, you know what I mean? But anyway, like you care. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday. And, when I express my feelings about racism, that is not for me to say that I'm trying to stay the right. I'm not. I try to stay away from those subject matters, okay? But basically what I'm saying is that, just the very fact that it blew up to what it did, it just goes to show you that a lot of the things that people say are true, okay? And I'm an example of it. So it can't be denied, and it's something that people need to look at a little closer. Anyway, wrapping up this video. Have a wonderful day.